Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure. Come on in.
They have cold beer and action on the game.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
It's time for the Degenerates Next Door.
Dollar bills, y'all.
All right. A lot of stuff going on. We've got the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. We've got some Major League Baseball. We're not too far away from the U.S. Open in golf. We're about a week away from another leg of the Triple Crown in horse racing. We got a lot of stuff going on. My name is Jason Hammer. I do the Hammer and Nigel show here in Indianapolis. Right across from me, former elected official, tax-cutting machine, and a number one rated radio host in his own right, Rob Kendall. Rob, we got a lot of important stuff to get to. But for just a moment, can I channel the late, great Toby Keith when I say I want to talk about me, I want to talk about I want to talk about number one? Because it was on this program for the last month.
That's right.
That I told everybody, if you want to get Alex Palou at the best value for the Indy 500, do it now.
Yeah, you did.
Said that for like a month. Alex Palou goes off, green flag, around 5-1, plus 500. It was plus 1,000 when I was taking the gavel and smacking the table saying, lock this in now. Rob Kendall knows his golf. He brought you Masters winners this year.
That's right.
I know the IndyCar series. I'm a racing guy, and I brought you a winner in the Indy 500. Now, I know people are going to say, you bet on the favorite. True.
Still won?
But it's still a win. It's plus money. And if you would have made the bet when I told you to make the bet, he was not the favorite at that point. It was Joseph Newgarden and then Pato O'Ward. So hopefully you took the advice and your toes were tapping.
Think about if you'd have bet $1 million. You'd be worth $10 million.
Right. You could buy off any politician you want, Rob. Well, maybe not here in Indiana. It might cost a little more than $10 million to buy off some of these weasels that keep screwing us on property tax. So had to do a little victory lap there because, sweet Jesus, when we miss something, we hear it from everybody. So rest assured, when we get something right, you're going to hear about it. That being said, we got Pacers, we got Knicks, we got action tonight.
I want action tonight, satisfaction all night.
Game 5. Back in the Garden. Again, we're not wed to a single sports book on this program, so shop around and find the best number that works for you. The Knicks are around a 4.5-point favorite tonight. Some spots had 5 yesterday. I'm seeing mainly 4.5 today. And the over-under right around 223. Again, treat it like Black Friday. Shop around, find the best number. Our professional handicapper, David Stephanoff of followneverfade.com, and our other professional handicapper, Kenny Britt of KB Sports. They're coming up here in just a few minutes. They've got action on totals tonight, that over-under, first half and full game. I think Kenny's got a few props as well, but I'm going to look at some player props tonight. And it feels like tonight, if the Knicks are going to extend this series and bring it back to Indy, Jalen Brunson is going to have to show up.
That's right.
It's been the Karl Anthony Towns show the last couple of games for New York, but tonight in the Garden, I think Jalen Brunson snaps out of a little bit of a shooting funk. I'm going to ride the Lightning and go over 2.5 made three-pointers for Jalen Brunson tonight. Now, I'm going back to the well with my playoff cash cow, Aaron Nesmith. I was a little concerned in Game 3 when he went down with that ankle injury. It looked bad. We thought high ankle sprain. But then he played pretty well in Game 4. So if Aaron Nesmith is all systems go, I'm in on over 4.5 rebounds and over 12.5 points for Aaron Nesmith. Now, my reason on the points, I think you might see some 90s style NBA New York Knicks tonight if the Pacers get into the lane.
Yeah.
They're
Those
desperate
lines.
tonight. If Halliburton gets into the lane, if TJ McConnell, if Andrew Nembhard get in the lane, those guys are getting hit tonight. It's win or go home for the Knicks. They've got nothing to lose. I think they're going to try to out-muscle the Pacers and slow it down. If they double Halliburton, somebody else is going to have to pick up the scoring slack, and I think Aaron Nesmith might be that guy, plus one of the few Pacers that can pull down some boards. If you can get a few garbage buckets with his usual mix of offense, I think your toes are tapping there. So I'm going Brunson over 2.5 made three-pointers, Aaron Nesmith over 4.5 rebounds, and Aaron Nesmith over 12.5 points, Rob.
I'm really only care about one thing with this, Hammer. Because if it's about me, right, which that's the theme of today's show, I got the Pacers on this very program before the All-Star break when they Stinksville at 125-1. And I'm 5 wins away, which means I won't be allowed to have it because I'm not allowed to have anything nice. But I'm 5 wins away from cashing a 125-1 bet.
Now, for those who may be new to the program, Rob Kendall is the cheapest man alive.
That's right.
The cheapest man alive. How much was this bet for you?
$1.
$1. Straight up Mr. Burns. $1 for eternal happiness.
Now I wish I'd have bet like $10. But let's face it. I mean, we had talked about this at the time because the Pacers had a bunch of dudes hurt early on in the season. And it was if these guys come back healthy, they're way better than their current record, whatever it was pre-All-Star break. And they got all those guys back healthy, and they've been arguably the best team in the league since the All-Star break. And you really feel like, and I heard somebody say this the other day, you kind of feel like if you're one of the teams left, there's 3 left now, obviously, with Oklahoma City going forward. You got to get it done this year because there's no great team. There's no Jordan with the Bulls. There's no LeBron with the Cavs. There's no Curry with the Lakers. Like, it's wide open. Oklahoma City's
Warriors.
good.
Yeah.
Or what did I say? Lakers. Yeah, I'm sorry, the Warriors. It's wide open. Oklahoma City's good, but they have an MVP, but they don't have a dude of that level. So if you're one of these other teams like the Knicks or Pacers, what an opportunity.
Right. This is it. This is the best opportunity the Pacers have had to win a championship since the Brawl season, where the Pacers were the best team in the NBA, but then the Brawl in Detroit happened, and their season and basically franchise was derailed for about a 6 or 7 year period right after that. So, again, more action on that coming up here in just a little bit with our professional handicappers. Before we hit a break here, I texted you guys something over the weekend that I didn't know this was a thing.
Oh?
Because I used to DJ weddings for a long time. I was a wedding DJ, and it was great. It was fun up until you reach a certain age, Rob, where you get tired of hearing drunk frat bros. And, I'm married. I got kids. I'll look at a hot bridesmaid if she's got some cleavage hanging out, if she's dropping it low on the dance floor. But what am I going to do with that, right?
Well, I mean, and I can vouch, having worked several weddings with you, you will indeed look at a hot bridesmaid if she's got some cleavage hanging out.
I will do that. But you reach a point where you just get worn out by other people being drunk and spilling their beers all around you. But had you told me gambling at weddings was a thing, then maybe I'd still be DJing these weddings. A buddy of mine went to a wedding in Chicago this past weekend, and he sent me a picture of a card that was on everyone's table. It said, place your bets. Place your bet. Drop your card in the box, and we'll announce the winner tomorrow before we head to our honeymoon. So you could bet on how long the first dance length would be.
Oh!
Over, under 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Love it.
Will anyone cry during speeches? How many times will the bride and the groom end up on the stage? Wedding cake tears. Will someone smear the wedding cake? Who will be the last person on the dance floor when we're trying to clean up? Will the bride change into a second outfit? I mean, these are all things that you can bet on at weddings, and son of a bitch, I'm in, Rob.
Yeah, that's awesome. I should have thought about that. I didn't really think it through the way I should have although I got married in my backyard, so, But anyway, I like that. That's some creativity. Good on those people.
Yeah, I'm into this. I am totally in on gambling at weddings. All right, let's take a little break. Our professionals are coming up next. Kenny Britt of KB Sports and David Stephanoff of FollowItNeverFade.com. Do not go anywhere. We are the Degenerates Next Door. Back on the Degenerates Next Door. I'm Jason Hammer. Rob Kendall is here. And one of our favorite professional degenerates, that's a badge of honor, is the man behind KB Sports, professional handicapper Kenny Britt. KB, how are you?
I'm great. I'm just back from vacation down in Panama City Beach, me and the wife.
Golf of America, baby. Golf of America.
Golf of America, a couple of redheads down there. I went through about a can of sunblock every 2 days. And, but fresh and ready to go.
Awesome, man. You were telling me off the air that this little nickel and dime pony show that we do here, the Degenerates Next Door, you get clients from this show.
Oh, absolutely. I've gotten well over probably 15, but I just got one on Tuesday. Guy's playing some horses this weekend. It's a new client I've never talked to before. He wanted a couple tracks for this weekend, and I said, absolutely. You know, it's kind of a slow time of the year. You know, most people bet football, college basketball, March Madness. That's where all of our clients come from usually. But I've got a dozen baseball clients, about 17 NBA clients, and this thing works. And during football season, we pick it up to 2 shows a week, and boy, I think it's going to explode this year in the second year. I really do.
All right, let's get down to brass tacks here. We got a pretty big game on the NBA schedule tonight. Boy. Game 5 in the Garden. The Knicks, the Pacers, New York, around a 4.5-point favorite, depending on which book you're looking at. What piques your interest tonight? Is it a side? Is it a total? Is it player props? What are you in?
Yeah, I've got a few things for you, Jason. I was thinking about this also. I wanted to say, me and you and David and Rob, we always say we don't want to be a homer, make a homer pick. But I think at this point, we're all from Indianapolis. Everybody knows that. But I think at this point, the nation knows, the Pacers are there, man. They're for real. When we give out a pick, it's not a homer pick. These guys are balling.
Right. We are money first on this show. Let's make that perfectly clear.
Exactly.
We would bet against our wives and kids for this show.
You are 100% correct. So you get no homer picks from the 4 of us. We are here to make money. And like Hammer said, we will do it however we can. So just want to put that out there. And the Pacers, man, they're for real. I like the 4.5. But the VIP play I sent out just about a half an hour ago is the first half over 109. I think both teams are going to come out firing in the first half tonight. So the first half over 109 is what I really like tonight, and that's my VIP play. Couple props I got. Josh Hart has not been starting the last 2 nights games, but he's still getting starter minutes, 35 minutes a night. I like him to get a double-double tonight.
He's been one of their best rebounders for sure. Like they're dominating the Pacers on the glass. Even on Game 4 where the Pacers won, the Knicks were dominating on the glass, and Josh Hart's been a big part of that. Yeah,
him and Mitchell Robinson, and I want people to understand what I'm saying. Josh Hart is the best rebounder in the NBA. He doesn't lead the NBA in rebounding, but he's 6'5", and he averages 9 rebounds a game. He's the best rebounder in the NBA. And at plus 240, that's just great value, Jason. He was a ATM for me in the middle of the year. I was getting him on double-doubles and triple-doubles. At like double-doubles, I was getting plus 500-600 on him. And I just really like him as a double-double tonight at plus 240. Even if he doesn't start, I like that. And then Mitchell Robinson, his points are 5.5. He's getting a lot of garbage, points, getting offensive rebounds. I really like Mitchell Robinson over 5.5. That's just not that much. I look back, he's getting about 6 a game.
You're going to need those, I think, early on, though, Kenny, because he's a liability late, and you can't have him in the game. So you've probably got about 3 quarters to get that in.
Yeah, they're going to do a little hack and check on him in the 4th quarter, and you're absolutely right. You got to get it early. But, that's 3 buckets, and as much as active as he is under the glass, that seems like to me a pretty good play.
We've also got some Major League Baseball going on right now. I know it's been kind of flying under the radar as we've had Kentucky Derby and Indy 500 and Major League, baseball's been kind of flying under the radar of the other betting options here. But you got action on anything?
Yeah, I got to play for everybody tonight, and I want to take a moment real quick to give some props out. I haven't heard the rest of the show yet, but I want to make sure that you got your props on picking the 500 winner last week.
Oh, I've already done my victory lap, Kenny. It's already happened, my friend. You know me.
When you got 30 some cars out there, and you pick the winner, people don't understand how difficult that is. Even if it's the favorite, like in horse racing, even if the favorite wins, they lose 75% of the time. So if you pick a winner, that's big. It doesn't matter if he's who he is. So,
and I hope people got it when I told them to get it, like a couple of weeks ago, because it would have basically doubled your money.
Yeah, he got crushed at the windows, didn't he?
Yeah, it went from plus 1,000 heading into the Indy 500 to, I think he went off at green flag at 500.
Yeah, that's significant. I mean, if people don't follow the lines, and that's significant money. That's not a few bucks. That's a lot of money.
But this is what I love about like racing and horse racing and golf. Usually you can get a favorite and it's still plus like ridiculous money. Like if you're betting college football, Kenny, you're not getting Ohio State at plus 500 anytime soon,
Nope. Not unless they start playing the SEC. These SEC coaches they're coming after them. Have you seen? I'm sure you've seen that in the last 48 hours. They want to play Ohio State every year.
They do. They're in. What's the baseball play?
All right. I like a little bit of an underdog tonight. They're plus 105, but I like the Nats tonight, plus 105. I like the matchup. I like the pitching matchup they've got going on. So I like the Nats plus 105. And I'm also going to give a little prop out in Game 2. There's a doubleheader between the Braves and the Phillies. Game 2, Ronald Acuna for the Braves to hit a home run tonight. This is a great matchup against Wheeler, the pitcher for Philly. He's already hit 4 against him in his career. So you'll get some pretty good odds on that, probably plus 400, 500, 600, something like that. So play a few bucks on Ronald Acuna to hit a home run tonight.
Hey, man, I love it. Now, Wheeler is a tough pitcher, but you're right. You look at the numbers, and Acuna's had a great run against him. Yeah,
and he's his first game last week, I think I texted the group, his first pitch after over a year from injury, home run. Unbelievable. Right. Unbelievable, man. Hey, we do have the Belmont coming up next week, so let's not forget about that. It's at Saratoga this year because the Belmont is under construction, so they're running the Belmont at Saratoga, and it's not 1.5 miles. It's 1.25 miles this year. So we'll have all that going on next week, and it's a short field in the Belmont, but you got the Derby winner and you got the Preakness winner in the Belmont. So you got a pretty good matchup, a couple other decent horses in there. So we'll talk about that next week, and yeah.
Where can we become a subscriber to your services?
Yes, sir, Jason. I'm on Facebook at KB Sports. Major League Baseball has been hot all year since opening day. I'm 34 over 500, 34 games over. NBA got off to a slow start, but I'm now 39-27 overall and on a 14-3 run right now in NBA. So Facebook, KB Sports.
My man, Kenny Britt from KB Sports. We appreciate the time, brother.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Rob.
And we go from one professional handicapper to another, because that's the way we roll here on the Degenerates Next Door. The man behind followneverfade.com, professional handicapper David Stephanoff. My man, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Hammer? Great time to be in Indianapolis and Pacer fan, race fan. How's it going?
Dude, I'm kind of over Pacers and Racers. I'm not going to lie. It never works out well for the team that I'm rooting for. Pacers are 0-4 on Indy 500 Sunday in my life. And I got to be honest, David, I was there in the stadium Sunday night. I did the double. I went to the 500 in the morning, and then I went to the Pacer game that night. That crowd was gassed. Man, they were out, because most of those people that I talked to, they'd went to the race too. So they'd been up since 6 in the morning. First beer cracked by 9 a.m.
9 a.m. easy.
Or earlier. And I think that 8 o'clock tip-off, that 11 o'clock finish, even though it was a close game against a rival, man, those fans were gassed.
Yes, that's what I was. The last time they had it was over 20 years ago. I went to it. I was a young buck then. But yeah, they should maybe have the game a little early. I think the last time they had, though, the game was like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It wasn't that late at night. That probably hurt a lot of it. But let's get the Pacers home tonight. So you can see the Pacers Knicks tonight. Let's get the Pacers home tonight, Hammer.
Listen, we said it earlier. We're all about the money on this show. We are Pacer fans, but if we think there's money to be made on the New York Knicks, we are money first on this show. So I ask you, David Stephanoff, as a professional handicapper, where should the money go tonight?
Well, I think a lot depends on Anthony Towns going to be healthy, Hammer. I think that after seeing the way he ended the game versus the Pacers last game, he didn't look like he was very healthy. That's a big blow to them if he's not healthy tonight. All the money looks like it's on. It's the Vegas sets the line at 4.5, so the money's mostly on the Pacers. Looks like a live dog with the line staying at 4.5. For what I'm seeing, I love the total 223 is what I'm seeing so far, Hammer. But it seems like Vegas wants everybody to bet the Knicks, but I don't think that's the right side.
Okay, so if you are going up to the window, you've got $100 bills in your hand, David Stephanoff, where is your bet tonight?
Tonight, Hammer, I'm going back to our bread and butter that we went last week. We cashed barely on the under 223. I know Kenny likes the first half over. I like the full game under. The only way path to victory, like I said last week, is going to be the same thing this week. The Knicks cannot let the Pacers run up and down the court. Now, if the game goes over, it definitely favors the Pacers like it has every game this series. The only way for the Knicks, I think, to have a chance here, if Towns is not playing, this game definitely has a huge shot to go way under because they're missing 25 points a game. But with Brunson having control of the ball tonight, I definitely seeing this one staying under 222, 223. It's back and forth some places. You might even shop around, get 223, Hammer. I'm loving the under tonight. I know Kenny's on the first half over. We can both hit it. I like the first half under. And I know you have some props you loved.
Yeah, there's a couple props that I'm in on. I think tonight is the chance that Jalen Brunson snaps out of a little bit of a shooting slump. So I'm on Brunson, some three-pointers that are over the total. I think it's listed as 2.5. I think Brunson's good for at least 3 today.
Great call last week, Hammer, on the Aaron Nesmith. Let's give you some props. You did call that out, the over 1.5 threes. We did have to wait till the last 3 minutes of the game, but that did come through. Good call last week, Hammer.
And, man, I'm going back to the well. Like, if Nesmith is going to be healthy, you mentioned Karl Anthony Towns. We think he's going to play. Nesmith's dealing with an ankle. He played well last game. I'm going back to the well here on rebounds and points for Aaron Nesmith tonight because, like what you mentioned earlier, David, I think it's a more physical game tonight. I think when Halliburton or TJ McConnell get into the lane, you're going to see some more 90s New York Knicks ball.
Yep.
They're going to try to be physical, knock people to the ground because they're desperate tonight. And when that happens, you've got to find other dudes that can score, and I think Nesmith might be that guy.
Yes, he shoots the ball well in New York, and like you said, Knicks are back to get up against the wall. They're going to play rough. They're going to try to play big. I look for Miles Turner to maybe have a pretty good game. He's shooting tonight. I think I like him to shoot. He's been shooting. He's been hot and cold. Miles either on or off. The last couple games he's been off. I think Miles might bounce back with a nice shooting night. I like him over threes. You get him over 1.5 threes. Is what it was this morning. I like that one a little bit, Hammer.
So you're leaning Miles on the over on threes, but the official play is the full game under.
Under. Yes, sir. Under 223 is what we got it at, Hammer.
Hey, you're a tennis guy. I know you've been passing out the winners on the French Open.
Yes, sir. French Open. I got a French Open play for everybody tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, French Open. We're on the men's side. Pretty easy one for everybody to follow. It's 2 Americans. We got Francis Tiafoe going to get Sebastian Korda. It's scheduled for 9 a.m. everybody, but let me tell you, they're on slow people time over in France. It's probably going to go off about 11 or noon our time, Eastern Standard Time. Francis Tiafoe is an underdog. He's Korda's minus 130, minus 125, depends where you can find it at. But go French Open men's tennis tomorrow. We're going to take Francis Tiafoe money line plus the 110, plus 115. Korda's coming off surgery. He's only about the second or third tournament back. But it's the French Open. Francis Tiafoe, probably one of the top American players we have. New coach. I look for him to win this outright convincingly. The wrong guy's favorite here. We're on Francis Tiafoe money line tomorrow against Sebastian Korda. And I want to thank you, Hammer. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kenny. Hope everybody has a great week. Go Pacers. And you can follow me everywhere. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, every single day. VIP's $100 for a week, $250 for a month. And let me tell you real quick right now, we're on a 39-12 run in the NBA. We're on a 44-22 run in Major League Baseball. It's a great time to jump on board. Get all my plays for $100 for a week. But you can follow me on every platform for free plays. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, every single day. We put out a lot of free plays. I thank you, Hammer. I thank you, everybody. And boom, baby, go Pacers.
David Stephanoff, professional handicapper from FollowNeverFade.com. Rob Kendall's got some golf, and I got a little degenerate special parlay for you. I'm not a parlay guy, but when degenerate stuff's involved, smack my ass and call me. Back on the Degenerates Next Door, I'm Jason Hammer. Rob Kendall is with me. And Rob, I've got a very serious question for you.
Yes.
Are you ready to get nuts?
All right, want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts! Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts, Rob. Is it too early to bet U.S. Open golf?
We're what? We're 2 weeks away. This is the Super Bowl of golf for me. You know, I don't do any work that week. I don't really do any work most weeks anyway, but even less, I'm not doing any work.
You love the U.S. Open more than the Masters.
Oh, totally. It's your nation's championship. It ends on Father's Day. And look, the Masters is special, but the U.S. Open has a select group of courses. You only get to see them every 5 to 7 years. And this year, Hammer, it is arguably the best course in the regular rotation for the U.S. Open. One of the most historic courses in golf. Men have gone. Men have not come back. It's at Oakmont, baby. It's at Oakmont, and men are not going to come home.
What's the deal with Oakmont?
Oh, it's great. It's a sort of a links-style golf course with this massive rough, these incredible bunkers. They call them church pews. It is truly one of the hardest tests of golf. They're saying the rough is going to be 6 inches this year, where the ball, it'll just disappear. You miss the fairway, the ball disappears. 15 on the stimp meter greens. This is what I'm talking about, baby. This is what I'm talking about.
So, just like I made early bets like a month in advance for the Indy 500, you are a couple weeks away from the U.S. Open. You got action already?
There's a couple names that stand out to me right now if you're looking to get in early. And there are a couple guys that are a little further down the board. But I've seen a couple people who have already played the course already. It will get more tough in the next couple of weeks. But they said if you miss the fairway, you're done. So I think this year, it's not going to be somebody who hits the ball the furthest necessarily, but somebody who hits the ball really straight. And if we look at who the number 2 driver is on the PGA Tour in terms of accuracy, he also happens to be one of the best players, and that's Colin Morikawa, 2-time major winner. You can get Colin Morikawa right now at 23-1.
I love you brought the stats up. Next level stats. Look at you.
If we were looking to go down the board a little bit, but still looking for
go.
a little bit of value, because this is Let's Get Nuts.
Let's
right?
go.
And then maybe next week I'll have the actual who do I think is going to win the U.S. Open. We go down the board a little bit. Let me just scroll down here, dip, 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 all the way down to number 10. Still top 10. Still a really good driver of the golf ball and a really good striker of the golf ball, Sung J M. Sung J M is a guy who I've always thought was going to win a major. This could be the week. Right now you can get Sung J M at 41-1 to win the U.S. Open at Oakmont.
I've never heard of that guy.
That's why we're here, baby. I watch this stuff so you don't have to, and I know you have no interest in doing it.
All right, want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts! Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
I feel like the executives in the movie Major League. This guy's dead. Cross him off then. All right, you want to do that? Fine. I will see your Let's Get Nuts with a dude no one's ever heard of, and I will raise you a degenerate special parlay for the beginning of the college baseball playoffs.
It's time for Hammer's Degenerate Special.
Anybody can bet on the Eastern Conference Finals. But the real degenerates will be on pins and needles on Friday when college baseball's postseason gets underway. And as they say, in the SEC, it just matters more. The best baseball conference in America has the most teams in the postseason. So here's what we're going to do, Rob. I am going to do a money line parlay of every single SEC team in their first game in the postseason. Okay, let's go down the list here. The Florida Gators against Eastern Carolina, money line, minus 375. Georgia, maybe the best team in the country, one of the best, minus 1667 against Binghamton. The only dog on the board, the Kentucky Wildcats against West Virginia, plus 100. So it's not that big of a dog. Texas, minus 1430 against Houston Baptist. Arkansas, minus 10 grand against North Dakota State. LSU, minus 5,000 against Little Rock. Alabama, minus 162 against the Hurricanes. The Sooners of Oklahoma, minus 235 against Nebraska. Little rivalry game. Tennessee, minus 715. The defending national champions against Miami of Ohio. The Commode Doors of Vanderbilt, minus 715 against Wright State. Auburn, minus 770 against Central Connecticut. And Ole Miss, minus 360 against Murray State. All of those 12 legs, SEC, $10 bet pays out $119.
Yeah! I love this. I say for this from experience, having done these ridiculously long parlays. When you just start losing breath at the end, that's my favorite part. The man needs oxygen, and he needs money, and he needs money line wins.
That's it. At the SEC, it just matters more. All right, for David Stephanoff of FollowNeverFade.com, for Kenny Britt of KB Sports, Rob Kendall, I'm Jason Hammer. As always, may the odds be ever in your favor, and we will talk to you next week. We got some horse racing Triple Crown. We got the U.S. Open. We got the NBA Finals. We are the Degenerates Next Door.